Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for another edition of NASCAR 06 on the channel as we are Craftsman Truck Series racing at the Texas Motor Speedway for race number 9 of 25 on the season. This is going to be a very... Hang on. Okay, that was weird. I think we're good to go. Let me know down in the chat. I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. Never mind. I was having a little bit of an issue there. I had a pop-up on my YouTube. I don't know what you would call this. YouTube Studio portion of the app, and it said something about like the monetization was unavailable at first, but then I checked into it and it says it's on. So that was odd. Never seen that before. But anyway, I don't know where I was in the intro. Race number 9 of 25 at the Texas Motor Speedway tonight. This should be an interesting one. Texas Motor Speedway has put on some great races on the channel. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it has put on some great races on the channel with this game specifically. Both the Cup Series and the Busch Series races were nearly instant classics at this racetrack. I'm sure the Truck Series is going to put on a show tonight as well. Scheduled distance is going to be 400 kilometers in the Czechs 400K. 250 miles, roughly 167 laps will be the scheduled distance. And without further ado, let's get into this race. No practice, no qualifying, start towards the rear, but we'll see how this is going to end up playing out, to say the least, here today for Ron Hornaday. I think it will be better than Dover for Hornaday's sake, but hopefully I didn't speak too soon. We're going to knock on wood, and we're going to get this race underway. Mark DeMars, Derek Booth, Mikey, Wade Selinsky, Cars One Boy, R6, and others, welcome into the stream. And the Czechs 400K is about to begin. Billy Kramer, welcome into the chat as well. Green flag is going to be in the air, and we're underway at the Texas Motor Speedway tonight. Truck Series racing on a Wednesday night. And Brandon Witt will be on the pole and lead the field into turns 1 and 2. I did not get a chance to change, as you can see, from working out. Got done a bit later than what I originally thought I was going to. Apologize for that. Yeah, no more Dover. Welcome to the stream, Patrick. This is very true. Don't have to worry about Dover, at least for a little while now on the season going forward. Gotta be patient, because Dover obviously just wasn't patient enough for whatever reason. Hornaday knows what he has to do towards the back of the pack right now. No practice or qualifying, just feel the race truck out, see what you've got. This should be a 2 pit stop race today, I'd have to imagine. We'll see if they can stretch it into 1, but I believe it's going to be a 2-stopper. Thought about making a pass there. Just going to back out of it. Off the exit of turn 4. Again, he's being patient. Brandon Witt was able to lead the opening lap, but lap 2 was led by the 99 of Ricky Craven. John Hamilton in the 120 truck for Kevin Harvick Incorporated got his first win of the season yesterday, making the 3rd win of the year for KHI. And the 6th different winner in the 7 races so far this season as well. The other 2 wins for Kevin Harvick Incorporated came from Ron Hornaday, as he went back-to-back in the 4th and 5th races of the season at Martinsville and Old Spice Speedway on the road course. Billy Carjoy, welcome to the stream. I did see the sad news about Bruton Smith passing away today. I didn't realize he was 95. I had no clue he was as old as he was. Caution for the first time today, trouble! Right in front of Ron Hornaday, and we have our first yellow. We had a lot of them in the Busch Series race here. That's why I figured it was going to be a wild race, and it did not take long for one truck to go around. Wow, that was a big miss by Hornaday. By the entire field, really. It happened right in front of the 92 of Kevin Harvick. Couldn't tell who that was. It was one of the fantasy drivers. Just got loose on the outside off the exit of turn number 2. Or really in the middle of turns 1 and 2. And Hornaday's going to pit at the rear of the field right now. You got 4 sets of tires. Why not go off strategy just a little bit? He was being patient in the early going. He's going to make an early adjustment to this race truck as well because he feels it's just a hair too tight. So they're going to take the round of wedge out of the car to try and loosen it up. Hopefully that doesn't hurt him on the long runs. Hornaday went to the outside to miss him, expecting that he was going to roll down the banking in time, and that wasn't the case. And luckily he was able to jam on the brakes. He kept from running into the back of anybody. Not just the car that spun, the truck that spun rather, but also the traffic sitting in front of him. Wild start today on lap 4, our first caution of the day, middle of the pack, and it was AI related. Don't have to worry about me wrecking too much anymore, hopefully. Now that Dover's behind us. Not exactly the best idea to pit this early. That is one set of tires, obviously, that's going to be used for the 6 of Hornaday. A lot of the reason to pit there was to make adjustments, but he still has 3 sets of tires left at the end of the race. It should still be a 2-stopper as well. 99 of Ricky Craven going to lead the field to the green flag for Rush Fenway Racing. Truck who just spun moments ago also going to get to the inside of Hornaday. Hornaday going to let him go. Off the exit of turn 4. He didn't want to get squeezed into the wall and have another accident happen. Hornaday still trying to get a feel for his race truck right now. Like I mentioned, trying to stay out of trouble. Dangerous to be at the back of the pack in case we see a spin like we did moments ago. And there was no contact that caused that either. It was just the truck in the outside lane that lost control. Similar to Texas nowadays. Can't run the outside without losing control of your race car. A third different leader already in this race as well is now Chase Montgomery's going to lead a lap off turn 4 in the 18 for Bobby Hamilton Racing. Hornaday trying that middle to upper groove. At least on corner entry, not really going to do anything for him here. Good speed on the back straightaway. Pulling out of line, trying to make the pass into turn 3. Going to get blocked. Kind of let him in line. He wasn't going to be aggressive, knowing he was probably going to get chopped off. I definitely do not think the cautions are going to be done tonight either. To go off strategy going forward in this race today. It still feels like Hornaday's race truck is a little tight. Even with taking that round of wedge out of it. Side by side. Hopefully he can hold the inside into turn 1. Truck on the outside giving Hornaday enough room, and Hornaday is going to complete the pass. He's going to make his first pass on the racetrack today. Another spot with the truck with damage from that spin right in front of him as well. Hornaday is going to have a good shot to get underneath him. Well, that did not really help. Hornaday up and into the wall. That was a terrible block on the front stretch by that lap car who was on the outside. Caused Hornaday to have an awkward angle going into turn 1 in which he was not able to hang on to it and ended up in the outside wall. And now sits about 7.8 seconds off the lead. We saw a lot of that at Dover with some bad blocks being played and Hornaday getting pinched in the middle of the corner. And that was just a bad block on the front stretch when Hornaday was already on the inside of the fantasy driver. Get to see exactly how much speed the 6 truck has in comparison to the leader, with Hornaday now having at least a little bit of clean air. I thought I saw a truck down on the apron on the back straightaway. I think somebody might have gotten a little out of shape. It's going to allow for Hornaday to pull clear and make a pass for position. Now that truck just got into the wall going into turn 1. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he is all over the place. And Hornaday is losing time to race leader Chase Montgomery currently. This truck is just too tight right now. It's a good thing he loosened it up at least a little bit to start things off. Damage getting into the wall in turn 1 might affect it a little bit. It was a pretty good lick. I didn't think it was too bad. It was tight obviously before that though. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. This is a 50-mile race, longer than what we had at Dover yesterday, which was 200 laps, 200 miles. This one, 167 laps for 250 miles. 400 kilometers is the race distance. But again, Hornaday's just not looking that fast right now, in all reality. Truck is just a bit too tight. He's having to back the speeds down quite a bit on corner entry just to try to get it to roll in. He's hoping that it maybe is going to loosen up on the longer run. That could obviously help. But right now, Ron Hornaday is struggling for speed. Last night, it wasn't so much the speed where he was struggling. He was just struggling to pass. Today, seems like speed is costing him quite a bit. Oh, we got a big wadded up field off of turn 4 and on the front stretch. This is going to be a lot of spots for the 6 truck of Ron Hornaday. I don't know what happened. But Hornaday guns it going into turn 1, and he passes a few trucks up to 26th. Cut through the grass to miss everybody. Luckily, he was still able to make it into turn 1. A sharp, awkward angle. Oh, he had a truck underneath him. Hornaday's going to slide, and he saves it. Didn't realize there was a truck underneath Ron Hornaday, and Hornaday spun. Locked it down, kept it off the inside wall. We have our second caution of the race. Tight race truck is a slow race truck. Hornaday's hoping the field stays out here, which they will. Can't pit for fuel or tires, bringing out the caution, but that was a big-time save for Ron Hornaday to keep from having damage to the race truck. He does have a little bit more fuel in it than everybody else, considering he pitted during the first caution of the day. Rod G, welcome to the stream. Wow. I'd say in comparison to last night's race truck, this truck's even tighter. Lack of practice and qualifying is definitely going to make for trying to make a difficult adjustment. The sad part is yes, we've raced at Texas in both the Busch and the Cup Series and had relatively quick race cars. with Dale Jr. both those races, but those were a little while ago, so remember what you did setup-wise is a little hard to remember when you have a gap period between that and the truck race. And the reason why the truck race is so much later is because they would run a Truck Series IndyCar doubleheader on the same weekend at Texas in June, in real life in the 2005 season. So that's why it's a little bit more further into the springtime. Otherwise, now the good news is, somewhat, his tires are going to be more worn out with that slide, so it should automatically loosen the race truck up a little bit. The sad part is the tires are going to be worn out. We'll see if we get another caution. I'm not doubting it. I've seen a lot of stack-ups in this race today, and obviously we saw one just a couple laps before that second caution ended up coming out. Hornaday closes in on the traffic ahead of him. He's getting a little tight again. Saw some contact a little bit further up ahead. The middle turns 1 and 2. Nobody got wadded up that time. Hornaday drives it in deep into turns 3 and 4. Actually sticks down to the bottom of the racetrack right now. And he's looking to make a pass for position. Because he was able to save it, now obviously he fell from 26th all the way back to last again. But he didn't have any severe damage with the truck because he made an incredible save on the apron in turns 3 and 4. Yes, the caution came out, so he lost a bunch of spots. But now the truck's handling the way he wants to without having to make that adjustment change. Now, obviously, he's still going to have to find something for adjustment changes. Can't just keep doing that over and over again and losing track position. Two rivals within a few positions ahead of Hornaday as well. Hornaday has a run on the back straightaway. 119 truck pulls a block. Hornaday again sits right behind him for the time being. Dangerously close to that apron, and now up into the outside wall. It cost him some momentum, on the front stretch. But had a stroke there. Gave up a lot of bottom. Almost lost the inside. Able to get back down in time going into turns 3 and 4. Nobody has pit yet. And again, it should be a two-stop race today. Hornaday makes one pass off turn 4 underneath another race truck. Nope. Both these trucks are neutral with Hornaday, and that truck on the outside, the 119, sent it going down into turns 1 and 2 and stayed clear of Hornaday. The 117 on the outside behind the 6 just got the wall off the exit of turn 2. Contact. Hornaday desperately trying to keep the truck on the bottom, and does. Doesn't get overly tight, but he spins. Third yellow of the day. Again, he saves. At that time, he clipped the apron. Third caution of the race. Second for Hornaday spinning. That time it wasn't off the front bumper of anybody. He just lost it on his own. He is chewing these tires up right now. So much for them being a little fresher than everybody else, because that can't be the case now with multiple slides. And again, with these yellows coming out, that's 2 of them now for Hornaday, both for spins. Both times he was able to save it, so yes, he doesn't have damage on the truck. But he can't pit for fuel or tires for an unfair advantage. And can't make any adjustments, and has to go to the tail for bringing out the yellow. Per my rules. In fairness of bringing out the caution flag. 3 cautions already in the early going of the race. I'm not sure what race or how many cautions the most is in a Truck Series race this season. I'm thinking Daytona might have been it. I feel like we had 9 or 10 at Daytona at the beginning of the season, but already 3 today at Texas, so we're not even 40 laps complete. Green flag back in the air. Chase Montgomery's been having some pretty good restarts, though. And he'll get the restart out in the lead. Trying to think what they can do handling-wise to help the 6 truck out a little bit more. Keep the truck from getting too tight so he doesn't have to hug the bottom just to keep it off of trucks that are on the outside, even if they're giving him a little bit of room. This Hornaday needs all the room he can get. Two points out of third. 8 points out of the lead with 6 to go. I'm probably not going to get the lead in the division if I had to guess. I feel like it's a little too late because you're banking on them losing a lot of their games. Considering you only have 12 points available to get and you're 8 back. Here's Hornaday up the track again into turn 3. I almost wonder if I have too much downforce in the car and that's causing it to almost act as if it's got too much grip. And the front of the race truck's just planted to the racetrack. The trucks already have a lot of downforce as it is. Add more downforce, you can see how it's tight for Hornaday. That time Hornaday just drove it in too flat into the corner, but he's doing that to try and keep the truck on the bottom. He can't arc the corner off because if he starts too high, you can just never get it to turn all the way down. Everybody primarily on the same strategy still. You know, Hornaday could go a little bit longer than the rest of the field on fuel, but not much longer. If we get a caution that isn't the 6 truck, which again I'd have to imagine we will. We saw a lot of cautions in the Busch race at Texas, 13 of them. I don't think we're going to have that many in the truck race today, considering it's a shorter race by about 50 miles. But I could see there being right around 8 to 10 caution flags in the race, especially with already having 3. But Hornaday has 3 sets of tires left. I think he'd be willing to use another set up with another caution pretty much whenever it falls at this point. Give him a chance to not only take fresher tires, try to get through this field, because he's burned through these fresh ones already. A couple big slides he had. We'll see what Kevin Harvick is... Oh, geez, I hit the wrong button. We'll see what the 133 is doing. That stinks. I was trying to get the driver swap, and I put the follow instead, and I messed it up. And now I messed this... Oh, my gosh. I don't even know what just happened. Kevin Harvick goes up and over. Climbed over the rear bumper of his teammate in the 133. A couple other trucks piled in. Wild ride for the 92. And we have our 4th caution of the race. Just going to put the 133 a little bit behind schedule. And the field will be on their way into the pits. So first of all, I hit the wall with Hornaday. And I hit the wall with him because I was thinking I already swapped drivers. And I hit the wrong button, so I wasn't even in the gas, and just drilled the outside wall going into turn 1. And then I fast forward to the 133 truck, and I just drove it into the corner too deep. Oh, jeez. I drove it into the corner too deep because by the time I got control of his race car, it was about that time to start getting out of the gas and braking going into turn 3. So it was a little easy for me to overdrive. Green flag back in the air, lap 51, following the 4th yellow of the race. Ride with the 133 truck on the restart, who is going to get 5 bonus points for leading the lap. Oh my goodness, what? Up on his lid goes the 33. He has barrel rolled down the back straightaway at Texas. How is he still in this race? It's the 2nd truck to flip today. That was a legitimate barrel roll that time. Another big wreck at Texas. I was not expecting this. I don't know what's going on, guys. I feel bad for you guys watching this. This is a terrible race. Between last night and tonight, three and a half. I don't know how the 133 is not DNF with those 2 wrecks. At least we're keeping Hornaday out of trouble. That truck is all sorts of tore up. At least he got 5 bonus points. I don't think it was worth it. I feel bad for you guys watching this. This is just not a good race so far. This is way too sloppy. I'm making mistake after mistake after mistake. Just like I was at Dover last night. And this time it's all myself. There was a natural caution from the AI on lap 4, but outside of that, it's more of the same from Dover last night, and I don't even know how. Oh, we got a slow truck. It nearly got turned on the back straightaway and is all the way down on the apron. It's going to allow for Chet to pick up a couple positions. Truck's still down on the... Oh, man, they're squeezing each other again up here. Unfortunately, with those wrecks coming in the field pitting, Hornaday was not going to be able to make adjustment changes during that last pit stop like he would have wanted to do because I was not able to pit as him. We'll see what Kevin Harvick is doing. And Harvick is miraculously in 2nd after flipping earlier in the race. He just got in the wall now. The hood is flapping off of Kevin Harvick's race car, by the way. And there it goes. Caution's out. That was prior to him getting into the wall. And that is caution number 5. For Harvick had flipped. He was in 2nd place, so now he's without a hood. Adding to more bad luck that Kevin Harvick has had on this Truck Series season. I do think an F1 series would draw in more viewers, but that's not what I'm... I mean, yeah, I would like more people to watch the channel, but at the same time, like, I'm not for chasing views if I'm not going to like doing what I'm doing. Or not as into it. Be attracting more, you know, motorsport fans, but not necessarily more NASCAR fans either. I mean, some might be, but... that's just a completely different audience. Keegan. Oh my... I'm about to park myself. I swear I'm sober. The worst part is I'm damaging not only every KHI truck in the field, but it seems like every truck in general in the field with all the cautions we've seen so far. I've lost count of how many yellows. I think that's the 6th one of the race. And I've caused all but one of them. Well, 2. All but 2. No, wait. I think that might be the 7th. We had lap 4 AI wreck. 2 Hornaday spins and saves. Harvick flipped on his own earlier off the 133, an accident I caused there. That accident. Harvick's debris caution. And that's going to move 3 Kevin Harvick Incorporated trucks to the back of the pack. John Hamilton in the 120 is the only one left remaining that hasn't gotten in an accident today. I guess Hornaday stayed out of trouble. He spun and saved it both times. The sad part is I feel like I'm trying to be patient. I'm just trying to make a simple pass on a truck I'm way faster than. Or in the last couple instances, I'm just driving it off too deep into turn 1. On the restarts, somebody gets to my outside, I get stuck on him. Like, I don't think I'm driving over aggressively. I'm just missing my marks, like, by a lot. We'll ride with John Hamilton in the 120 truck. And he's stuck on the outside in the 15th place position right now, coming off a win at Dover in the last race, which jumped him up to 3rd in the point standings. That was not his fault that time. Got squeezed into the wall by the truck underneath him. Still stuck on the outside. Deborah Renshaw got to get underneath now. We're just going to go back to Hornaday. Hamilton's lost so many positions. Not going to be much better for the 6 right now. And that doesn't help. Somebody's trying to take out Hornaday in the middle of the corner. One of the rivals of the 6 truck was right around him, and luckily Hornaday was actually able to keep control. Maybe now that we're back to driving as a 6, we can keep the truck under control. We know Hornaday's got a tighter race truck today. And now he's caught in traffic, which makes it even worse. Just need to get a long green flag run in and have the field start to space apart a little bit, and that'll help too. Just no practice or qualifying is definitely the main issue here. And that gave Hornaday a bad truck handling-wise to begin with. And the mistakes have been led with it. Even though some of the other mistakes were as me driving his other trucks. Made a clean pass on Todd Kluver in the 50. Almost said the 60. That would be the 50 truck. Same paint scheme as the 60 car of Carl Edwards in the Busch Series in this game. One car blowing up. Truck on the inside. Off the exit of turn 2. Another truck in the wall on the outside of the 6. Stacking them up, allowing for Hornaday to pick up a couple positions down the back straightaway. Plus the blown engine on the bottom, he picked up 3 positions. And you can just see how tight he is off turn 4 and had to lift quite a bit just to keep it off the wall. That was the 38 of Brandon Witt. The pole sitter's falling back so far in this race. Probably struggling on the restarts, and having all these cautions is just not helping him. Shigeki Hattori in the 9 truck. Right behind the 6 of Hornaday as well. Sloppy start to this one today. Hopefully we can keep things under control for now to the end. One thing if it was all AI related, which it tends to be most of the time with NASCAR 6, but between the Cup race at Dover, especially the truck race at Dover last night and the truck race tonight at Texas, I feel bad for you guys, the viewers. It's one thing if I struggle and like stay out of trouble, that's one thing. But when I'm getting into accident after accident after accident, I feel bad just continuing the race. Like, I feel like I should DNF. And when I don't, I feel like I'm robbing the field of positions I should have. If that makes any sense. So Tori just got around 6 truck of Matt Crafton. Like, it just doesn't feel right when I don't race super clean. There was contact in a tight area on the front stretch now. Kind of what I was talking about. It's one thing going for the win at the end of the race. And now the 99. Ricky Craven going to get by the 6 of Hornaday. Hornaday's teammate in the 133 truck right behind him. Team order is going to allow for Shep to just kind of follow Hornaday now. Try to keep the pressure off of him so he can continue to try and hit his marks, as he's done for the most part since the restart. Definitely starting to dial in a little bit. Got just underneath the 99 of Edwards, making contact off turn 4. Edwards is in the outside wall going into turn 1 as well. He loses more than just that one spot. Probably 2 or 3 positions. There's only one more scheduled pit stop the rest of this race today. Hornaday has 2 sets of tires left to the end of the race. Pitted during the first caution and then one of the last couple yellows. Just clipped the apron to get through 3 and 4. Luckily he was out of the gas when he did it and waited to get back into the throttle until after he got back up on that inside lane on the racing surface itself. Kept the truck from spinning out. This pack is still pretty heavily congested together, too. Hornaday way up the hill. 133, gonna get around him. Hornaday tried to cross it back over. It was way too aggressive in doing so, and he just squeezed his teammate into the wall. Hornaday's having to fight the wheel so much in the middle of the corner. Part of why he has clipped the apron a few times in the race today is because he's trying to steer the car so much in the center of the corner that sometimes when it grips a little too much, and that's when he turns down and clips the apron with the left side tires. White boy, welcome to the stream. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. We're almost halfway home today at Texas. These are 2 races that just did not have to happen, especially back-to-back for Ron Hornaday. 77 points out of the lead going into Dover. Had a rough day. Now he's 116 points out of the lead. Fell from 3rd to 6th in the standings. and has only been as high as about 23rd, where he's running right now this entire race so far today. Surprisingly, with all the accidents we have seen, he himself has stayed out of trouble. I wrecked as the teammates a few times, bringing out a string of yellows middle of the race. I actually spun with Hornaday twice and saved it both times, once off the front bumper of another truck. Hornaday had no clue that there was somebody underneath him. This 133 is putting a lot of pressure on him right now. Hornaday just going to make sure that the 133 truck isn't going to try to pass him like he did a little earlier. When he hits his marks, he's faster than some of the trucks ahead of him. I don't know that he has a top 10 truck, but maybe a top 15 truck. Just got to the inside. Another one of the generated drivers on the backstretch into turn 3, getting a little arrow loose that time. It's hard when you're dealing with a tight truck, but you get arrow loose from the truck behind you who happens to be your teammate. 2 corners in a row, the 6 truck felt like wanting to spin out. Through turns 1 and 2, and he'll complete the pass for a position. To 22nd. Seemed like it was a little harder than it needed to be. .133 is just all over Hornaday. Sad part is he's going to follow him. He's not going to try to pass him even though he's quicker. And it's getting the 6 truck quite a bit loose. Going to see if he blocks for us and maybe backs off the rear bumper of the 6. That's going to help a little bit. Ryan Rodriguez, welcome to the stream. I do not have tonight's trivia question yet, so I'll pause it on the back straightaway. We're just past the halfway mark. So, yep, time for tonight's trivia. We'll see what I can find for you guys. Texas track fact. We'll try to find a truck series one. So I'll make an easy question for you guys. There are 2 answers. You only need one. Only 2 drivers have started outside the top 20 and have won a Truck Series race at Texas. Name one of the 2 drivers. That is tonight's trivia question on the channel. Only 2 drivers in NASCAR Truck Series history have won from starting outside the top 20 at Texas. Name one of those 2 drivers. First one to name one of them in the chat. I'll shout you guys out, of course. Whoever gets it, you guys have until lap 100 to try and get it. Hornaday got to the outside of a truck, lifted quite a bit that time in the middle of the corner. That was because of how tight the truck in front of him got. Hornaday naturally went up the hill because he had to run and didn't want to run into the back of anybody. I can definitely tell this 6 truck is really good on the long run. And I kind of noticed that earlier before we had those string of yellows with the teammates of Hornaday. That it felt like the 6 himself was getting better on the long run. It's tight at the beginning of the run, but it slowly loosens up and gets quicker the older the tires get. He's going to make another pass for position to 21st. Hooked to that white line through 3 and 4. Jerry Fastnav, I see you in the chat. Welcome. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch. Those are not correct. Surprised we haven't seen more debris cautions with all the wrecks we've had as well. Just the one from Harvick. Even the 133 who flipped didn't have a debris caution. Halfway on fuel right now at this point in the race. And we have an issue. Oh, somewhere on the racetrack, one truck going to get sideways after contact with Hornaday. Hornaday definitely crowded him off the exit of turn 4. Matt Craftsman, not it. Greg Biffle is not it either. But one more truck has just hit pit road for likely an unscheduled stop. Unless we see more cars, or trucks rather, pitting this time by. That's not going to be the case. So the 133 of Marvin Schett, who had a lot of damage from earlier incidents, I'm sure that factored in, but he has just blown an engine. And more bad news for Kevin Harvick Incorporated with that being said. Left with just 3 of the 4 trucks now. Christopher Bell or Eric Jones, Brian Rodriguez. You have gotten the question correct. Christopher Bell was one of the drivers. You guys can keep guessing in the chat to see if you can get the second one. But Brian Rodriguez will be the first one. Christopher Bell was one of the 2 drivers that started outside the top 20 and had won a truck race at Texas. But who was the other one? I'll give you guys the lap 100 to see if anybody else can get the other one. Eric Jones was not the other one, by the way. Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, not the answer either. Line of trucks right in front of Hornaday. His truck's loosening up on the longer run, starting to feel more comfortable with it. It's just a little better in the short run. Making another pass for position, though. Returns 1 and 2, but he gets out of shape in the dirty air. Slams into the 117. Somehow neither truck lost control, and Todd Kluver's able to get around Hornaday on the outside. Natalie Decker's not the answer. It's like the 178 truck's in the lead, another one of the fantasy drivers. We've seen 3 fantasy drivers already win this season. We might see a 4th. They've all been different ones. Ron Hornaday's not it. Todd Gilliland is not it either. I like that Gilligan's. I knew who you meant, though. Carl Edwards is not it either. Got a couple more laps to try and figure it out. Not James Busher. Christopher Bell was the other driver. You guys have already gotten in the chat, but who is the other driver to start outside the top 20 and win a truck race at Texas? Not Martin Truex Jr. Not Ted Musgrave. Not Johnny Sauter. Somebody already answered Greg Biffle. That wasn't it. Not AJ Allmendinger. I don't think he's ever won a truck race. Not that I can recall, at least. Not Kenny Irwin Jr. Guys are running out of time. Lap 100 is complete. I did not see the second one. Brian Rodriguez got the answer right, getting Christopher Bell. The other driver was Todd Bodine, the youngin. Todd Bodine back in 2004. So Bodine and Christopher Bell, the only 2 drivers to start outside the top 20 winter truck race at Texas. Ron Hornaday trying to do that today. On the bottom, he's underneath the 50 truck of Todd Clover, making quite a bit of contact with him. Causing both trucks to get a bit sideways. Now Hornaday's starting to be a little too aggressive, and it's not working out for him. Gonna give up the bottom. And now he's gonna give up one of the positions he just gained that last lap right back. His truck's almost getting too loose now. It was good for about a 5 to 10 lap stretch, and now it's getting too loose. Luckily, no cautions have come out with the contact that Hornaday's made with other trucks over the last few laps. Truck is definitely quicker at this point in the run, but it is a lot edgier than before. Seems to be a little bit better in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4 as well. Closing back in on the 117, and we have trucks pitting off turn 4 as we speak. So a lot of trucks on pit road. Hornaday trying to make a clean pass on the 117 truck. Get him back for position. He's going to clear him off turn 2. Nice little clean pass. 99 of Ricky Craven going to try to follow Hornaday into turns 3 and 4 towards the bottom. Haven't had any green flag pit stops yet until just now. Craven all over the back of the 6 of Hornaday. Hornaday trying to hang on to his race truck. He's going to give up the bottom into turn 1 and let the 99 truck around him. Squeezes into line. Got really loose. He clipped the apron off turn 2. Kept it off the wall and drives it down the back straightaway. Still in front of the truck behind him. He's going to lose the bottom lane again, it looks like, through turns 3 and 4. Getting dangerously close. Pulling a block off turn 4. He's clear. Little arrow loose. Might consider pitting, knowing the window's open to the end of the race with some trucks already hitting pit road. We've seen cautions in the middle of green flag pit stops a lot, but remember, if Hornaday's involved in an accident, he can't pit for fuel or tires. And he's 8 seconds off the race lead from the 178. Riding in line behind the 99 of Ricky Craven. Quarter tank of fuel left for the 6 truck of Ron Hornaday. You know, he doesn't really feel comfortable trying to pass another truck. He is going to pit early. And Hornaday is going to try to pit right now. Off turn 4. 4 tire stop. Got to make sure he doesn't miss pit road. And he does not. Full tank of fuel. 4 tires. Going to put that round of wedge back into the race truck and going to bump the air pressure up. So going to put the wedge back to the way it was at the start of the race because it's getting a little too loose late in the run. But he's going to bump the air pressure back up to still counteract the fact that the truck was tight off the start. This is the second set of adjustments Hornaday has made today. His 3rd stop of the day for fuel and tires. Pitted during 2 caution flags earlier in the race that he was not involved in. Again, he went for 2 spins today, but was able to save his truck on both of them. And now he's good on fuel to the end of the race. He didn't mean to pull up middle of the track. Right at the side of the 30. Both those passes were for position around Hornaday. That costed Hornaday getting up to speed, making contact. The 30 truck of Chad Chafin as well. Jeez, contact in the middle of the front stretch. Hornaday can't have a yellow. One truck up on his lid. Oh, it gets drilled in the roof, and that's going to bring out a caution. Big wreck for the 117. He was up on his lid after that hard hit into the outside wall off turn 4, and then gets slammed in the roof because the caution never came out prior to that by an oncoming truck in the 135. And that is not a caution Ron Hornaday needed to see. Slammed stock car, welcome to the stream. Hood in-car view is faster. I mean, it's all on preference. It can be for some people. It's not the far chase cam that's the issue tonight, because I drive with that more often than not. It's the driver. It's just me tonight. You know, Hornaday's going to get trapped a lap down just like he did at Dover. And he just cannot buy a race right now. This is back-to-back terrible races for Ron Hornaday. He's going to try to race to get back on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. I don't know how Hornaday is leading the race right now. He's going to be on older tires than the trucks who just pitted. And he just lost the lead on the restart. Hornaday should have been trapped a lap down with that caution coming out. But he restarted in the lead. He got blown around on the restart. Sheth in the 133 just got around him. Hornaday going to try to cross him over into turns 1 and 2, but he gets tight. He's going to deal with that. Oh my goodness, that scared the heck out of me. Oh my god. Jump scare of the ages from the 117. Just blasting the 6 truck of Ron Hornaday. He wasn't even on screen when that happened. Oh, they're going to wreck again. I don't know how they haven't wrecked yet. Well, that's more like it. Hornaday's right back to 18th. At least we know he's on the lead lap. Caution for debris. Countless yellows. I can't even remember exactly how many we're at right now. We've had a bunch of them. And there's a debris caution following the most recent big wreck that we saw. The 135 is the one that hit the 117 truck who was on his lid. And the 117 is upset with Hornaday. I'm surprised he's still racing, to be completely honest. And I didn't know he was right there with Hornaday on that last restart. Hornaday's going to pit. He could take fresh tires one more time in this race today. He's going to do just that. It's the final time that he can pit for fuel and tires. And he's going to go for it. He's going to take the round a wedge out of the race truck. It's the last set of tires going on it now. That was not a caution he caused. I did hear about the Bruton Smith news. Too many cautions is my count, yes. And I have caused all but 3. And 2 of the debris cautions have kind of been because of accidents I caused. I promise you guys a better race tomorrow. I said that last night. But this one tomorrow night, I will practice and qualify. Hopefully I give myself enough time to. I didn't tonight, that's why I didn't. I'm going to try to make sure I give myself enough time so we have practice and qualifying tomorrow, because no practice and qualifying has absolutely obliterated me the last 4 nights of NASCAR 06 action on the channel. Green flag back in the air. Hornaday is in the 33rd position. Now, I will say with that yellow, he probably would have gotten the free pass even if he wasn't actually on the lead lap. He should have been a lap down. So I will take being at the back right now, so everything's kind of worked itself out back to the way it should be, scoring-wise. And now Hornaday's on fresher tires, which he would have been as well. He's running out of time to try to go from the back to the front, but we'll see if he can do it. Truck's going to be on the free side, that's for certain. I don't think it's going to be tight anymore. If he goes up the track, it's just because he's trying to stay off the apron. But even just from the unload speed, it just has not been there. Something has been severely lacking in the 6 truck tonight, under the hood. It's the reason why on normal race pace he's only been as high as 21st. 19th rather. Yeah, everybody's good on fuel to the end. They would have pitted if they weren't there. AI's usually smart enough that if they're within the fuel window, they'll pit if they can't make it and a caution comes out. I don't know that the yellows are out yet. I mean, we've seen some wrecks on restarts that aren't Kevin Harvick incorporated affiliated cautions. Got to get as close to that white line as possible without hitting it. I think you have nothing to lose if you're riding Hornaday at this point. You've already made a fool of yourself. Might as well go for broke. Still want to race clean getting up through here. It's going to be tough. The couple rivals that have been made this race to get by, especially that 117 truck who already tried to take Hornaday out earlier. Ice to Monkey 92 Hammer, welcome to the stream. Trucks have a larger fuel window. Yeah, in this game they do. But even the second to last caution before that came out within the Busch and Cup Series window as well, so won't have to worry about it. 41 laps to go at the line. Hornaday hasn't had a truck capable of winning this race all day. But he's going to do his darndest to the finish. Had a good run on the last mile and a half at Charlotte, finished in 6th 2 races ago. But then going to Dover last night in this race at Texas today has really done him in. 20th at Dover, and he's 33rd at Texas. There's 2 laps down last night. It looks like he should finish on the lead lap tonight. Doesn't mean things have gone better. In fact, they've actually been worse. Slowly catching up to the back of this field. He's got a little bit fresher tires than everybody else, but he did not take off well on that last restart. And it's definitely taken him a little bit of time to close this gap. Hornaday looking for a solid points finish. If he knows he's going to lose points today, he doesn't want to lose too many. He comes in 6th in the standings, 117 out of 1st. After being just 77 out of 1st going into Dover last night. Just 16 races to go on the season when the checkered flag falls today as well. Gonna get underneath the truck on the back straightaway, looking to make a pass into turn 3. Down on the bottom of the racetrack, he will do so. So that was a spot gain. Hornaday's really working this race truck hard. In traffic, he's got not 1, not 2, but 3 rivals within the next 5 positions ahead of him. It's amazing how tight the truck is when you get up close underneath another truck, even with it being on a looser setup right now. A lot of bottom opened up for Hornaday to get around another race truck. He turns 3 and 4, looking to complete the pass. Couldn't do it. Hopefully he can complete the pass in turns 1 and 2. And not going to be able to. That truck on the outside carried a lot of momentum. Hornaday's lifting quite a bit in the middle of the corner, just trying to keep it off the white line on the bottom and trying to keep it off the truck to his outside. Risk from causing another yellow and again going backwards, of course, if that happens. And he was the factor in it happening. Off the exit of turn 4, again, drives to the inside of another truck. And that's where the horsepower is really lacking from the 6 from the start of the race as well. A second time he's got underneath him. I didn't think he lifted too much that time. He just couldn't get the drive off to be able to make a pass. And he's in danger of losing a position. The 6 go up the hill again. Big run on the backstretch, a little stacked up getting into turn 3. Texas is notable for being hard to pass. Hornaday's dealing with an issue right now where he's tight in the middle. He's in dirty air at least, he's tight in the middle, but he's still loose on exit. They're trying to loosen the truck up setup-wise. You got one truck blowing up on the front stretch, heading down into turns 1 and 2, trying to get to the apron. They're going to be able to get to the apron, kind of stacking the field up a little bit. That's going to be another position for Ron Hornaday. Gets inside of another truck as well into turns 3 and 4, and he's up to 31st. 2 rivals right in front of the 6 now. The 117 and the 137. They both tried to take him out at certain points today. Hornaday looking low. He's going to get up into him. He's going to move them both out of the way. That's going to be the easiest way to get around those 2. That was intentional that time from Hornaday, and he's going to hope he can get away from him into turns 3 and 4. He's got a lot of pressure from behind. Even if they don't get into him, he can definitely get arrow loose, especially off the exit of the corner where he's struggling with grip right now. Oh, he overdrove turns 1 and 2. He's going to leave a lot of bottom open. Now the 2 trucks behind him are side by side through 1 and 2. That occupied a little bit of time. One more rival for Hornaday to get around. Three wide into turns 3 and 4, right in front of the 6 of Ron Hornaday. Hornaday trying to follow down to the inside. Rival in the middle lane, right above him. He's going to get around them all. Luckily, that truck didn't try to take a swing at him that time. And who would have thought all the carnage we've seen today at 3 wide at Texas was actually going to work there. First time Hornaday's put himself in a 3 wide situation. Now he clears another truck off turn 2 for 26. Kind of like last night at Dover, where late in the race he seems to just be finally getting used to his truck after all the green flag laps it takes to get to that point. With the lack of practice in qualifying, he's actually starting to play a little bit of catch up. Just with driving the truck itself. I think this is the rival underneath him. Could drive off on turn 2 exit. Hornaday on the bottom into 3 and 4. Hopefully he does not get turned. He does not. Oh, another truck blowing up. On the front stretch right in front of Hornaday. Hornaday misses him to the outside. He tried to get to the bottom as quick as possible. We almost had a Kyle Busch Texas All-Star race situation there. Big 3-wide pass by Todd Kluver getting into turns 1 and 2. Contact in front of Hornaday. One car squeezed into the outside wall. Hornaday's going to be on the bottom. 3 wide into turn 3. Overdrives it. And he gets nearly turned from behind. Saved it. I don't know how he did. Oh, well, spoke too soon. He got trapped on the bottom. The truck that... man, there was no room to make that corner. So going into turn 3 that caused all that, there was a stack up off of turn 2 with the trucks in front of Ron Hornaday. Hornaday tried to go 3 wide to the bottom, and then he got squeezed a little more going into turn 3 by a truck trying to crowd him. That initially made the contact, and Hornaday flatlined it into turn 3, and that's why he went up the truck as drastically as he did. And that pretty much, it was on from there. He was never able to regather himself. We catch another caution in this race, which is probably the most we've seen in a truck race all season, and considering the fact that's the same thing that happened in the Busch race at Texas. Texas and Dover. Probably the 2 more wild tracks we've seen on this game yet. The super speedways are wild, but they're wild and good racing. Texas and Dover, they've just been wreckfests. Daniel Reese, welcome to the stream. I see you in the chat. Playing on PS2. Stenhouse isn't in this game, though. And green flag is going to be back in the air. A lot of engine failures have led Hornaday to likely getting a better finish. Still 21 laps to go in the race as the green flag is back in the air at Texas. And the problem with Hornaday going towards the back again is he's got a couple rivals to deal with again. And you thought you were finished. Trouble! Caution off turn 4. Another big wreck. Oh my goodness, we almost had a blowover. That was not me. That was AI taking over. I did not get involved in that wreck. The 107 truck backwards. Oh, it was... man, that was a weird looking crash. 2 trucks almost went airborne off turn 4. Immediately after the restart as they were getting up to speed. And I thought there was a blowover towards the infield, but I guess when he was backing it down towards the pit road wall, he ended up backing into another truck and wheel hopped over their rear bumper. Hornaday can't pit for tires, unfortunately. He's at the rear of the field right now. He will pit again. He's only going to lose 1 spot because of it. And he's going to try to tighten it up a little bit because it's getting a little too loose. So they're going to put a half round of wedge into the truck and going to take the 2 pounds of air pressure. Oh, I can't take the air pressure out because I can't pit for tires. I think I just accidentally pitted for tires. I tried not to. Yeah, well, it looks like we're changing lefts. Did I make the air pressure adjustment before I did that? Oh, I did. Oh, this is going to be terrible. This is going to... So... this is not going to be good because this is actually going to hurt the handling of the truck. Because now my left side air pressures are going to be way less than my rights. And left side tires that are fresher with the old rights is going to be a weird balance too. That might actually tighten the truck up too much. Green flag back in the air. I don't know what that's going to do to the handling of Ron Hornaday's race truck, but we'll see. And we'll see if they can make it without another caution flag. Hopefully this is going to be the final restart. Brandon Witt towards the back. Just remember, he qualified on the pole earlier in the race. 3 wide off the exit of turn 4 up ahead. They might cause another wreck. Bit of a stack up, it looks like, on the front stretch. Not a major one. Surprised the apron didn't hurt Hornaday that time off the exit of turn 4. Still 15 laps to go. Slow race pace tonight with all the cautions. Plus, with it being 250 miles compared to most of the races on the season being 200, this already a little bit longer Truck Series race than usual. It has been sloppy from the start. Wrecks all over the place. And now the unfortunate adjustment changes have not gone right for Hornaday after the restart. Oh, trouble off turn 2. Two of the rivals of Hornaday just got together. It's going to allow for Hornaday to pick up a couple spots going into the corner. Gains 2 positions out of it to move up to 29th. And luckily his rival in the 117 didn't try to take a swing at him. Oh, and we have a wreck going into turn 3, or turn 1 rather. One truck got into the outside wall, stacking up the field. I'm not sure who it was that got into the wall, but somebody got into the wall going into turn 1. And that caused for Hornaday to run into the back of the 117, and if he wasn't upset before, he's going to be really upset now. $12 to go. I don't even know if Hornaday's going to catch him the rest of this race. That was not the adjustment changes I was trying to make. I should have just stayed out. Hindsight's 20/20. I thought I was going to have more time for my pit options than what I did. It dawned on me, I was trying to make an air pressure adjustment, and then it dawned on me I couldn't take an air pressure adjustment if I couldn't take tires. So when I was trying to not take tires, I ended up taking lefts only, and that hurt the balance of the race truck. And the air pressure adjustment with that is tightening it up a little too much. Hornaday's still digging though. We'll see if he can get any more spots in the final 10 laps. We'll see if we stay green to the end as well. If we do get a caution late enough, it could end the race. Fantasy Driver is leading the way right now. Can't tell which one or who it is. Seen a lot of different leaders today with all the different yellows. And there is a very good chance we could potentially see our 8th different winner in the first 9 races of the season. Hornaday, the only multi-time winner when he won back-to-back races at Martinsville and Old Spice Speedway. Another Truck Series race tomorrow night on the channel. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully 3 straight races could be enough for Hornaday. It just unloaded bad. That's the big thing. Yes, it's been a sloppy race both at Dover and Texas for Hornaday, but it's a lot easier to drive cleanly throughout the race and not make mistakes when your cars or trucks are handling better. And in the case of tonight, that has not been the case for Hornaday. And same goes for last night at Dover, where Hornaday's truck just unloaded terrible on speed, terrible in handling. Side by side. 3 wide might be a little too risky, but with a rival towards the outside, it might be worth the risk for Hornaday. I'm surprised they didn't wreck there with the contact at that sharp of an angle going into the corner. Hornaday never lost a spot out of it, though. He gained that spot on the back straightaway, and he'll hang on to it. Back through the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Still waiting to see if we get another stack up from the field. We've had quite a few of them today. Some have caused accidents, some have not. If it doesn't cause an accident, or even if we have a wreck on the final lap, remember, no cautions on the final lap. It'll be a race back to the checker. So Hornaday has to keep digging for that matter as well. Hornaday clips the apron into the wall. He tried to drive through it, and it did not work. If this controller wasn't connected to the PlayStation, I may have tossed it by now. I'm frustrated with myself that I keep making these mistakes. I guarantee you that if the truck or the car over the last couple races, if it just would handle better, I know I can drive it. Even at Dover, as tough of a track as that is in this game, I know I could drive it. This caution will not end the race. I think we had 7 laps to go when the caution came out. So we will get another restart. And we may get another stack up with it. 7.5 plus seconds of damage for Hornaday. He's going to finish the race and at least outlast the few drivers we saw blow engines earlier. Maybe there's a stack up on the restart after they get to the white flag and Hornaday picks up some spots there, but that's pretty much all he's hoping for now. Use low downforce seems to work for you. I usually put quite a bit of downforce in because it helps the handling. I mean, you have more grip, but the truck just unloaded too tight tonight. And I just can't drive underneath of the car without making a mistake. And I'm pushing so far left on the analog stick to try to keep it to the bottom of the track. And it's so easy for me to clip the apron because of that. Because if it does turn too much and I try to get off of the analog stick just a little bit, it turns to the right almost every time. 2 laps to go. Green-white checker finish to the end of this race. 135 truck going to get around the 6 of Ron Hornaday there. White flag will be waving this time by off of turn 4. Will the field make it to the white flag? Yes, they do. And the next flag is going to be the checker. I don't think this is a position for Hornaday. I think the 135 truck was a lap down. Well, for the second straight race, Hornaday's going to finish. I didn't think it could get worse than Dover last night, but it did tonight at Texas for Ron Hornaday. Wild race at Texas, it indeed was, for one reason or another. Where the checkered flag is going to be in the air, and the 116 truck is 119, I think, is the truck that will get the win. Nope, it's the 108. I can't read. In my defense, on the track map with the 3-digit numbers, it's hard to tell with these PS2 graphics sometimes. So Teague is going to go on to win the race today. George Teague will win at Texas. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did win the season opener at Daytona. Yes, he did. So George Teague going to win the season opener at Daytona. His second win of the season. Bobby Hamilton ends up finishing in second. Marvin Shett finishes third. Stuart Claiborne ends up finishing in fourth, and Jackson rounds out the top 5. Ricky Craven finished in 6th, Deborah Runshaw 7th, John Hamilton 8th, Bill Lester 9th, Terry Cook rounds out the top 10 today. I think Teague led the most laps. He did. Max points day for him, leading 53 out of the 167 laps and winning the race. 2 hours and 10 minutes total time on tonight's race. 1/10 of a second margin of victory, average race speed of 115.25 miles an hour. This was a long race at Texas with all the cautions, 12 of them for 36 caution laps. Ended in a green-white checker finish. And Harvick finished 14th as far as the other Kevin Harvick Incorporated teammates. And the worst of them was, of course, Ron Hornaday, who finished 32nd. Led 1 lap under caution to get 5 bonus points. I don't know how I did that, but led 1 lap under the yellow. Even if it's not a green flag lap, it's still 5 bonus points. So I guess that saved us, a position or 2 in points. Chase Montgomery looked quick early. Actually was dominating the early stages of the race, but he was one of the trucks that blew an engine. In fact, finishes last with the 37-lap sled. Blew that engine at lap 71. Clausen blew an engine late at lap 135. A few laps later, Chapman blew an engine on the front stretch and almost got ran over by Hornaday and the rest of the field behind him. Luckily, he was able to stay out of the way in time, but he blew that at lap 141. He also led a lap today, and that led for the 3 DNFs. 32 trucks finished on the lead lap, and I'm glad that that is over for your sake and mine, because that was pretty rough. Oh my goodness. That was a struggle indeed. I thought it couldn't get worse than Dover, and it got worse at Texas. Next race is going to be tomorrow night on the channel. And let me check the weekly streaming schedule. I don't think it's going to be a truck race tomorrow. Truck series at Michigan. I think the next race, I have to look. Might be Dodge Raceway Busch Series? Yeah. So tomorrow night's live stream on the channel will actually not be the Truck Series. Sorry for that. It will be a Busch Series race at the Dodge Raceway. Race number 15. Hate to leave off like this with these bad truck races this week. But Michigan is not the next Cup race, so we got to hold off on that. So we'll go Busch Series racing tomorrow at Dodge Raceway. Will be the next stream on the channel. That will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'd say I promise you a cleaner race. Now, I will say I've been good on the tracks less than 1 mile in length. Just to go through quickly my stats in all 3 series on tracks that have been less than 1 mile in length, I can tell you tomorrow should be a clean race, even though it is at the shortest track in this game of a 3rd mile short track. There will be contact, but I do expect, at least for myself, to be able to run clean. Now, if the AI wrecks, that's one thing, like I said, but I just don't like bringing out yellows like I did tonight at Dover. I feel bad when I do that, not only for just myself and finishing the race. Now, obviously, I had 2 bad finishes, so I am all right with it in that sense that, okay, if I ran poorly like that, I deserve to finish bad like I have the last 2 nights. But I also feel bad for you guys because you guys come to see racing, live realistic commentary with that racing. And if I'm making mistakes on the racing, I'm therefore going to lead to mistakes on the commentary because I try to call things down the middle. And when I'm getting upset with myself for just not driving the right driving line, that definitely hinders the product overall. But again, I appreciate you guys tuning in, though. Quickly, my short track stats. So in the truck series, on the tracks less than 1 mile in length, Martinsville, I won. Only led 3 laps, but I did win that race. Old Spice Speedway, that was a road course. Levi Strauss Signature Speedway, less than 1 mile in length. I guess I finished 24th there in the truck series. But if we fast forward to the Busch Series and the Cup Series in particular, the series with cars, in the Busch Series on the tracks less than 1 mile in length, and even 1 mile and less in length if you consider the fact that those can be considered short tracks as well, Dover, 6th. Even though Dover is poor for me, I ran good in the Busch Series race, led 91 laps, finished in 6th. Richmond, 1, led 199 laps. This is the Busch Series, obviously, tomorrow night as well. Didn't lead a lap at Phoenix, but finished in 7th with Dale Jr. Bristol, unfortunately, didn't lead a lap, and unfortunately finished 42nd, and that's because I was running in the top 5 late in the race. I think I was in 4th, but ran out of gas with a few laps to go, which sent me back to 42nd, but it was really good up until then. Mr. Clean Speedway, 1 mile intermediate track / short track, 10th place, top 10, led 65 laps. Another short track, UPS Speedway, only led 18 laps, but got the win. So, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the Busch Series has been really, really good. Only has 1 finish outside of the top 10 this year on a track that is 1 mile in length or smaller, so 5 top 10s in those 6 races. In the Cup Series, pretty good as well on the short tracks that are less than 1 mile in length. So we're going to exclude Dover out of, well, we can include Dover. I struggle at Dover, only led 8 laps, finished 36. But every other one outside of that has been good on tracks 1 mile or less in length. For the Cup Series side of things, Richmond led 330 laps and won the race. Phoenix led 170 laps and won the race. Martinsville led 128 laps and won the race. Bristol finished 7th, led 60 laps, and that was it for the short tracks in the Cup Series so far. So only 4 of them in the Cup Series, and I have 5 of them in the Cup Series. I've won 3, finished 7th in another, and unfortunately 36th. So I do think that good things will hopefully come in the Busch Series tomorrow. Gonna need it. Point standings for the Truck Series. So I forgot to show you guys that. We know in the Busch Series I'm lacking a little bit in the point standings. In the Truck Series, though, things are a little bit better. But after the last 2 nights, there has been a little bit of a slip-up. Ricky Craven's the points leader, has a 64-point lead over our teammate John Hamilton. Marvin Sheth, another one of the Kevin Harvick Incorporated trucks, is fourth of points, 114 out of first. Ron Hornaday is 200 points out of first, still in the top 10, is ninth in the standings, but that's unfortunate because, again, two races ago, he was second in points, 77 out of first. A 20th at Dover and a 32nd at Texas has put him back to ninth, dropping 7 spots in 2 races and losing out on 123 points from points leader Ricky Craven right now. George Teague, who just won his second race, is sitting 11th in the standings. Kevin Harvick is having a miserable season. Kevin Harvick's season is essentially what I have done at Dover and Texas in the last 2 races. That has been Harvick's season. Still only one top 10 to show for, and he's 28th in the standings. He has ran every race too, unfortunately. So he isn't doing hot, but at least his other 3 trucks are in the top 9 in points. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be Busch Series racing at the Dodge Raceway. 300 laps around a 3rd mile short track. It's going to be a quick one. It's going to be a good one. Hope to see you then.